Today, I'm cooking some country-style ribs. We're gonna smoke them, braise them, and give them a nice sear. This is my first time cooking country-style ribs, but the flavor was outstanding. And dare I say, I actually prefer them over regular ribs. I know, pretty crazy, right? However, there was one slight problem which I'm gonna address later on in this video. But for now, let's start up the grill. Now, the first potential problem right off the bat is I went with a method of grilling that I've never attempted on my recently modded Jumbo Joe. I attempted the snake method.
The snake method involves creating a long chain of unlit charcoal around your kettle. You then place some lit charcoal at the end of it. They will slowly ignite around the kettle, which allows you to run your charcoal at a very low temperature over a long period of time. I'm going to adjust my bottom vents to a quarter open. I'll also be using a water pan. The water pan was probably a mistake too. It took longer to set my bark and it kept temperatures way too low. I'll have to omit next time and do further experiments.
Next, I'll place in my deflector. If you want a more in-depth explanation of this modification, I'll leave a link to my Jumbo Joe mod video down in the description.
And next, we're going to let it come up to temperature. While it comes to temperature, I'm going to go ahead and season our ribs. If you are curious to the rub I'm using the Heath Rouse Pecan Rub. This is one of my favorites and I highly recommend it. Let's finish up seasoning these ribs, making sure to get both sides. For the first part of the cook, we're going to introduce a little bit of smoke flavor. I'm going to be smoking these for a few hours. Now that the grill has come up to temperature, about 225, I'll place in my grate and place in my ribs. For the second part of our cook, we're going to be braising them. For the braise, I'm going to be using some pineapple juice, barbecue sauce, some pepper jelly. I've also sliced up 2 habaneros. I'm not going to add all of them. We're going to give it a quick stir. I'll probably regret this later, but I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of the habaneros. In the last minute move, I'm going to also add additional pecan rub just to increase a little bit of the flavor.
3.5 hours later, it's time to start braising them. Now, this cook took longer than I wanted, and my guess is that the water pan just kept the temperatures a little bit too low or provided too much moisture, which meant the rub didn't set as quickly as I wanted. If I had braised them at that point, the liquid would just have washed the rub away.
These ribs, however, did pick up a lot of good color and a lot of smoke flavor. I'm going to go ahead and remove them, put them in a pan, and add the braising liquid. Next, I'll cover up in foil and put it back on the grill. Before I do that, let's take a look at the charcoal consumption. It's used quite a bit. I know Kingsford Pro tends to burn a little quicker than the normal blue bag.
I think for next time I do these, I won't use the water pan and I'll ditch the snake method and stick with the minion method, as I've been doing this the entire time. Because the last set of cooks that I've done with this method, it's been flawless. Going with the minion method, no water pan, I could easily get about 6 hours of cooking time around 250 and 275 degrees.
But right now, let's put in additional charcoal and line up a pretty rough snake. It's not going to be perfect like I did it the first time. Now that the ribs are in the braising liquid, I'll put the pan in the kettle and let it cook for a few hours until the temperatures reach around 200 degrees or they're nice and tender. The braising liquid is really going to introduce a ton of flavor. The ribs have reached an internal temperature of 201 degrees. Off screen, I added a temperature probe to keep monitor temperatures. I also removed the foil underneath the pan because it's no longer needed, and the drippings were producing a little bit of smoke. Let's check out these ribs. They smell really good. Now it's time for the third part of our cooking process. We're going to sear these and sauce them. First, let's mix up the charcoal to get them nice and hot. Now, let's place in our ribs and get a nice sear on both sides. We don't need a lot of charcoal in this process. We're just trying to get a very light sear. The temperatures are not very high. We don't want to burn these ribs. Be sure to get a nice sear on both sides and keep saucing. Let's flip. We're getting some nice color. These are looking really, really nice. And they smell really great. Let's sauce these again.
These ribs were very flavorful and very delicious. But as mentioned at the beginning of the video, there was a slight issue. They were a little dry. Now, I don't want to sound too critical because these ribs were still really, really good. We ate them right up and we had no complaints. But now you're getting a little behind the scenes of what goes on in my head after cooking something for the first time. I want to figure out how to make it better on my second time. I think I have it figured out. On my second try, I'm going to ditch the water pan and the snake method and minimize the searing action at the end. Everything else from the rub to the braising liquid, they were really, really spot on.
Okay, one more sauce, one more flip, and I think we're good. This picked up a ton of great color. Let's remove and let's taste. The ribs were delicious. They were like regular ribs, except the braising and the searing process added a ton more flavor. It's amazing.
This cook was fantastic and the ribs were delicious. If you're interested in a different flavor profile for your ribs, be sure to check out the following video. Yes, technically the ribs are cooked on the Weber Smoky Mountain, but the video has 3 great rub sauce combinations that you should definitely try out. So be sure to check it out.